What's up, YouTube? So I was been watching some old TV shows as of late. One show that I've been watching is Duckman. I bought the complete series. I watched a little bit of it, not the legal way, but I watched a little bit of the show. I liked it. I never saw it in really good quality, so I wanted to see it in better quality. And I like the show; it's really good. But one thing I've been noticing from watching this TV show that I find really interesting, by interesting I mean suspicious, is that a lot of these older concepts that they talked about in the 90's on how negative events could take place in the episodes and how that would unfold and the solution for it are things that we have to deal with right now. Like, I'm watching this episode talking about how this one dude is trying to be a comedian and he's not very funny because he's trying to make PC related jokes, like PC as in jokes that anybody can listen to, that are for little kids. They're not like dirty or inappropriate in any way, no curse words, no nothing. And so at first when he's telling the jokes, they're not really funny, and everyone's telling this man like, yo, you need to leave, like this is terrible, this is trash. And so from that, he meets one of the characters that snags him a little drink that he takes. And so when he tells his jokes now, everyone starts laughing. They find it funny. Main character Duckman is interacting with him around other people, and everyone's laughing at the joke. But Duckman doesn't really find any of the jokes funny because like they're not funny, bro. They're pretty terrible. Like, even joke wise, like these jokes are not funny. Talking about, I don't know, someone's new hairstyle, slightly looking like a penguin, and then talking about how penguins are endangered, so that's actually a compliment. Like, that's not funny, bro. That's terrible. Let's not bring that back. So this goes on. He becomes more and more popular. More people are seeing him and liking the jokes that he does. And instead of doing their old version of comedy or what they used to deem as funny, they're now copying his form of comedy. And now everyone's kind of telling the same unfunny joke styles and doing the same thing. And so everyone is still in agreement finding what he's saying is funny, except Duckman. He's the only person in the show really kind of seeing this and saying that this is not funny at all. Like, this is all trash. The guy Iggy becomes even more popular, seen more on television. He's winning awards. He's getting more merchandise and products. Then it cuts to where Congress is having a new law passed by the comedian named Iggy, saying that any inappropriate or mean-spirited jokes will therefore be against the law. And one of the guys in Congress, questions him like, yo, can we really do something like that? If we make a law like that, doesn't that go against the First Amendment, having the freedom of speech? And they're like, yeah, you know what, you're right. That's why we invented whiteout, and then takes whiteout and then changes the amendments to take out that part, so that way they can change the rules in favor, for what they want to do. And then they make a joke a little before that, talking about how that for people that are in Congress, they delegate and make rules for those that are found outside of Congress. So for regular everyday people, you have to follow these rules. But for the people who make the rules, we don't have to follow that rules. And as I become older and I understand more life and I see more things, I kind of am starting to peep game on a lot of these issues that take place. How a lot of people in power, the very rules that they enforce onto regular mundane people and they face consequences for, they do them on a regular basis and nothing happens to them because they're one of the people that makes the rules. And it's just interesting to me. Either you have enough money to where you can skirt and get past the rules, or you have the power to skirt and get past the rules. But if you have neither, then the rules fully and heavily apply to you. But that's something I would say. If you're watching any older television shows, really try to listen and see what they're saying. From you looking at what's being said, you're going to be able to learn and understand more that's happening now. And the reason why I say that is because I think about the show Star Trek: The Next Generation, and a funny concept that I learned from a YouTube video I watched, I want to say 2 years ago. It was talking about how in reality, the guy who made the first cell phone actually made it based off of the phones that they used in the Star Trek, like the telecommunication devices, and tried to make something similar to that for the time period. And so looking back at a lot of these different shows and media and books even, a lot of these things that were invented that we have now came from someone's imagination. And I'm not talking about the person who actually made it. It came from like a whole different person who had the idea of making it. But then years later, a person saw that and then tried to make that a reality. So I kind of feel like now a lot of corporations are doing that. They're looking at things that were said or happened in the past about a prediction or a warning that would take place. But rather than looking at it as a warning, they're like, yo, let's try to make that the roadmap. Let's do the very thing that they're talking about. And let's follow each blueprint, each path to go down the road so we can get this outcome for ourselves, so we can have either more money, more control, or more power. But yeah, you can learn some from your pro television programming. It just depends on what you're watching. That's it. Enjoy the rest of your days or enjoy your night. Do whatever you're doing. I'm going to see you later. Bye.